Hi
Hello.
everyone. It's Jackie here from Ascend Financial Freedom, coming to you to talk to you about the important side of insurances, or one of the important aspects of having grown-up finances, about getting your shiz sorted. So I have the lovely Anne here today.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
So Anne's here to talk to us, explain all the things that we need to know about insurances, because there's a lot of myths, a lot of misunderstanding, and a lot of confusion around insurances. So and do you want to tell these lovely people a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Sure. So I've been in the risk side for about, I say 10 years, but now it's well over 10 years. And I am an authorised representative of Synchron. My company is actually called Anne Little Insurance Brokers. I am a financial planner, but I specialise in risk. That's my passion. I put a lot of effort into it because I love it so much. So,
yeah. And you've been on both sides, haven't you? So
yeah, exactly right. So I was a BDM initially, and that's how I met Jackie. And I was actually the BDM for a non-advised product, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
a Band-Aid product, we'll call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was in my previous world, or my current world, as a mortgage broker, one of the things we used to do was assist people with getting just any type of insurances to cover their mortgages, you know, taking out a $500,000 debt and not having any protection against, you know, one of the partners passing away and the other partner being left with a big debt. So one of the Band-Aid policies that I used to provide to my clients before I personally became a financial advisor and knew better. And obviously Anne knows better now as well, and she's working for herself and she's doing amazing things.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I love it. I've helped a lot of people in their lives, you know, and if it hadn't been for the insurance that they'd taken out, the family would be in an absolute disarray. They would have lost their home, and I just haven't done that once or twice. Several times, you know, I've been working for myself now for about 5 years, and I've had that happen several times. So yeah,
it's frightening, is it? The amount of issues, problems, and the amount of the issues and problems that arise when people don't have insurances.
Exactly.
And also the amount of people that are affected.
Yeah, exactly
that need
right.
insurance. I did a post, and I did a post probably about 6 months ago now. Time flies. About 6 months ago, where I sat down and I mentioned about, I mean, cancer is only one thing that you can get insurance for, but at that particular time, I think I wrote down a list of 11 people in my circle, friends, family, colleagues, previous colleagues, clients. There's 11 people. And after I'd actually posted that video, I had a few more people come to me and say, oh yeah, by the way, I was diagnosed 12 months ago and I cancelled my policy.
Wow.
A month before diagnosis. Was one poor lady. She's coping with it now. But anyway, I digress. So speaking of all these different policies and insurances, let's give us a rundown of the different types of insurances, real brief.
Sure. So let's talk about personal insurance. So personal insurance, when we're talking about personal insurance, we're talking about life insurance. So, you know, a premature death occurs, the sum insured is paid out, all right, regardless of what your loans are or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Then there's total permanent disability. So in retail insurance, total permanent disability is we're actually talking about your occupation. So there are three definitions. So one is your own occupation. If you can't do your job, they pay you out, all right? Easiest to claim on. Then there's any occupation. Any occupation means if you're suitably qualified to do another job, they'd expect you to do it, all right? Nothing to do with vacancies. It's whether you're physically able to do it, all right? And then the third definition is ADL, which is activities of daily living. So activities of daily living means that if you can't do 2 of the 5 things that a human being does by themselves, the insurance company would pay you out, which is the 5 things we do is we take ourselves off to bed, we shower ourselves, we feed ourselves, we walk by ourselves, and we toilet ourselves. If you can't do 2 of those things, they'd pay you out. So that's total permanent disability.
I think a lot of people, just on their own occupation and any occupation, a lot of people freak out thinking, you know, are they going to force me to do a job? Are they going to force me to be a garbo? Are they going to force me to be a checkout chick? And it's not necessarily the case, because they go off previous experience or previous education and
Well,
training.
if you're suitably qualified and able to do another job, so you'd be expected to do it. So if, for instance, through superannuation, where most people think they're adequately covered, it is only any occupation you can get.
Yeah.
You can't get own occupation, right? But if you can get own occupation, then it's the easiest to claim
Then
on.
it's your particular job. If you can't do your particular current job,
Yeah, they pay you.
They'll pay you.
Yeah. So that's total permanent disability. Then there's trauma cover. So trauma cover, what it covers, the main things that people claim on is heart attack, stroke and cancer. But depending on the insurance company, there's between 30 and 50 different medical events that you can claim on, so it depends on the insurance company. But that and income protection, trauma and income protection are the two most claimed on insurance. There is. And then of course we've got income protection. Income protection, we can cover you for your income. Should you get sick or injured, you can claim your income. It's vital whether you've got a home loan or you haven't got a home loan. If you go to work, you need to protect your income. To me, it's one of the vital insurance policies to have in place, really, as soon as you start work.
Exactly. I mean, if you're on an income of 40 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, think about that extrapolated over, to the age of 65. Is that $1 million and a half of income that you're not going to receive if you're unable to work?
Yeah.
So I see people freaking out. I have seen people freak out about, I can't afford a premium for income protection, I'll never claim on it. And yet they'll still get their car insured, which might cost them 20 grand, 15, 10, 5 grand to replace. Or they could catch public transport, or they could borrow a car off someone else. It's an easily replaceable item versus your ability to earn income for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, exactly right.
So that's something that just baffled me.
Yeah, that's
totally
right.
baffled
It's
me.
just, goodness, if you can get that cover, you should take it,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Totally agree,
Income protection. And also, like with families, I've had some clients that have been fortunate enough to have great family support, but I guess I don't know if it's my issue or if it's just something I want to bring to people's attention is, some people say I'll move back in with my parents, but
it's a fool's game, Alex, really, you don't know what position your parents are going to be. I was always, sort of told from a very young age that you don't rely on your inheritance because it might not be there for whatever reason. And the same thing, your parents have brought you up. Do you really want to put that on them again, that I'll rely on my mum and dad? Really? Okay.
But they love me.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I'm not going to love you and all their money on you because you can't get your grown-up shiz sorted and pay, pay some, little bit of pittance per month to take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
digress.
Agree. Yeah, I totally agree. And then we have more complex covers like key person insurance. That's for people who are in business. You've got a partner. Without each other, the business would suffer. I can explain more of that to you if you come and see me. Key person insurance is to insure the key person in your business. That's the easiest way. And then there's business insurance cover as well. That covers all the statutory expenses that you have in a business. So the place burns down, you can't operate, you've still got your mortgage to pay or whatever, your rent to pay. It covers the statutory expenses, all right?
Or even if you're out of action, you've still got staff to pay, you've still got your phone bill to pay, you've still got all these other contracts. You might come back to work in 6 months if you've had, a broken leg, but the business still needs to have the expenses.
Yes, sure.
It's empty. Sorry, we've been talking too long.
Sorry.
That's right. So with so that gives us a good overview of all the different types of insurances of the personal insurances. I found over the years a lot of people have come to me and said, "Oh, look, I've got my insurances sorted, or I've got something in super. I'll be right." And a lot of the time, they don't know how much they've actually got.
Sure, exactly right.
Are you like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You in there? The other thing as well is people are just so bamboozled by these wonderfully presented TV programs that I'm not going to name names, but I'll give you 10% back after 3 years, or I'm a cute little animal, miniature cat. Those sorts of things. So, and can you tell us the difference between a cheapo DIY, do-it-yourself, versus actually spending and investing a little bit of time with a professional to help you get your insurances sorted? So
yeah, exactly right. So the good thing is, I am, as I said, I'm licensed to give advice. So it's much more complicated. If you came and saw me, you'd understand that to get that cheap DIY cover, and for any reason it doesn't pay, then really and truly you only have yourself to blame at the end, because that's exactly what it is. It is, just to get you going, I suppose. I don't know. But the whole thing is, look, there are people like myself. I don't charge you any money, all right? You can come and talk to me and I'll explain everything to you, exactly how it all works, where you can buy insurances, all the differences. Advice product, it is the best you're going to get in the marketplace. It is the most, price-wise, it is competitive, all right? And insurance is complicated, most people wouldn't think of all the things that they need to cover themselves for, so it's really, really important to get it right, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your family, come and get advice, it is the only way to go.
One of the things that we do in the Financial Freedom Coaching Academy is we work through, and I bring to attention different things that you can get cover for. Like some people said, well, I just want my mortgage covered and I'll be fine. But you've got living expenses on top of that, you've got rehab expenses. If you're dead, you're gone, but the family still needs to survive, and your partner may not necessarily want to go back to work straight away. So you might want to add a little bit of funding in to help with their grieving process, so they don't have to race back to work to start bringing income into the family. Whilst the mortgage is gone, there's still food, there's still clothing, there's still education expenses, those sorts of holidays to take the kids away and get their mind off the fact that their parents gone and never coming back. Those sorts of things. That's one of the key things that we discuss, and obviously you go into a lot deeper.
Exactly right.
With working those things out.
Sure. Yeah. So the whole thing is, insurance is all about having cover in place so that you are left in a financial situation no differently to an event happening in your life. All right.
Apart and that's the emotional burden.
Exactly. If you worry about finances, then your recovery takes a lot longer. So the last thing you want, or we help you achieve that, is you do not want a financial burden. God forbid an instance occurred, and that's what an advisor like myself would help with,
It's bad enough when you can't pay off your credit card bill.
Yeah, exactly.
After Christmas, stressing out about that. Can you imagine having a lifetime of, we've got no money, can't do anything?
Yeah, that's right.
Majorly stressful. The other benefit as well, sorry,
sure,
is with an advisor on your side helping you with the process of applying for insurances. You provide help with pre-assessments, so almost like a pre-approval, so that you don't just go and apply anywhere and get decline. We do pre-assessments. There might also be, just to give you an understanding of the different types of insurances in there. So a lot of people have, like I mentioned before, they have insurances in their super. But, it might be like a freebie that super fund gives you, some insurances. Might not necessarily free, but they provide you with insurance.
Yeah, it's never free. It's coming out of your balance, That's the thing. People think it's free, but it's not. The whole thing, when you come, when you see an advisor, we take you through the whole process. We're there for you, for your life, basically, genuinely care about you. So if there was a claim...
She's very caring. Anne is very caring. Very caring.
Yeah, well, I am, yeah.
You are.
That's what... why I do what I do, So the big thing is, look, I don't put just policy in place. I'm there for you every step of the way. You know, if there's a claim, there's quite a lot involved, you know, and of course for us to deal with the insurance company is much, much easier. If you were to go to a superannuation company or buy it off the stuff on television or buy it over the counter at the bank, well, you might speak to Joe today and you might speak to Moira tomorrow and so on and so forth. No one's got your best interest at heart. And wouldn't you say with most things that's what drives us all crazy, you know, when you speak to people like,
you're a name and a number.
All you are is a name and number. And something like this, you can't afford to be a name and number, all right? You need to know, well, I would want to know, if I'm paying premiums and I needed to make a claim, I would need to know that if I did make a claim, it was going to be paid. That is the most important thing with insurance. I cannot see why people would want to pay for insurance and then not get paid for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So
it's
using an
peace of
advisor,
mind.
you get, we call it underwritten. So what I mentioned before about like the pre-assessment or the pre-approval sort of thing, it's underwritten where the assessors actually understand your situation. So if you were a smoker, if you've had a back injury 10, 15 years ago or something like that, they can at least assess the policy, and it might include an exclusion.
Might do, yeah,
Yep,
that's right.
maybe.
So you would know up front before you went ahead with that insurance, you'd know exactly where
Where they
you're
stand,
at, you know,
yeah.
whether you've got an exclusion, standard rates, you know, and different insurance companies have different risk appetites, but only an advisor would know that, you know.
That's it.
You
That's
know,
exactly it.
You wouldn't, as the layperson, know some of the things. We can do certain things for you that you just wouldn't even think of for yourself, because it's not what you do. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're an electrician. I can't be an electrician. So you know things that I don't know. So they're the things, you know. To me, everything you do in life, use a professional. Use someone who is passionate about, you know, whatever they're doing, because then
Who gets it?
Who gets it? Exactly.
If
right.
you stuff up, you stuff up.
Yeah.
Big
That's
time.
right.
And like with buying the policies through the TV or just straight through the bank, the non-underwritten policies, they are underwritten at the time of claim. So you could be paying for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, and when you actually need the money, you might not get it. So it makes sense to get it right from the start than
That's
hope,
right.
pray, cross
Yeah,
eyes,
exactly
legs,
right.
everything. I probably looked really horrible then, but I don't care. I don't care. To get that. Yeah.
Well,
Just
see,
doesn't
the
make
big
sense.
thing is that I don't charge you any money, so why wouldn't you come and listen to an advisor like myself, rather
Might cost
than
you a cup of coffee.
if you're lucky?
Yeah. The other thing as well, I just wanted to mention, our clients generally are young families, so families that will have kids or people that are starting out that are going to have kids. One thing I didn't know before I became an advisor is that you can actually get cover for your kids. So a lot of things that you see on Facebook, the unfortunate side of having families is having funding if something goes wrong for your kids. Now, I know there's a lot of GoFundMe pages, you know, you see these pictures of kids in hospital with their heads wrapped and bandaged, and you can actually get cover for your kids. So obviously if something happens to your kids and they end up in hospital, you're going to have to take time off work to look after them. You might only have 5 sick days at work, and if you need to take off 6 months to look after your kid, you've got no money coming into the household. So there is child trauma cover.
Yeah, there is child trauma cover. So, you know, it normally starts about 2 and goes to about 16, and then that cover can go automatically towards their own, you know, own cover.
Grown up cover
cover
when they
without,
become grown up.
Yeah, without need for further underwriting. So yeah, it's really worth looking into that.
Yeah.
It's not terribly expensive either.
Yeah, so
You know?
automatically changes over to an adult policy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's something
right.
to consider. If you've got families, if you've got young kids, definitely would suggest looking into that.
Sure.
Yeah. Just wondering, is there anything else that people don't realise? So we talked about the kids, we talked about exclusions, we talked about super with something we call group insurance versus retail insurance. So group insurance is the automatic policies that you'd get within your super fund versus retail insurance. Just with regards to paying for your premiums as well. So you can pay for your premiums out of your pocket. You can pay for some premiums out of your super.
Yeah, so we also know how to structure that, you know. So we're very mindful of course, you know, we have to know your budget, and we're very mindful of spending your money. So we structure it.
Investing, not spending.
Well,
investing.
yeah. we need to know how to structure that, you know. So we work with you to make sure that it is structured in an appropriate way.
Yeah.
For you,
and
you know.
There's so many different ways.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
As a layperson, there's so many different ways of paying for your super or structuring it, like you said, with
for your insurances,
waiting
you know?
periods and those sorts of things, and how it actually affects the bottom line of what you need to physically fork out.
Yeah,
So
that's right. The thing is, you know, people have got all sort of different views, not views, but they beliefs that insurance doesn't pay, it does do this, and, you know, look, I haven't had one claim that's been rejected to date, not one, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, and it's just absolutely the difference it has made to people's lives. It is just mind blowing, you know. So it really would pay you to come and talk to someone like myself and see for yourself. It doesn't cost anything, even if it's just for education, you know. Come and understand it, because the more people that understand it, the better it is for all of us, you know.
Yeah.
We're chronically underinsured in Australia. It is the biggest underinsured country in the Western world. And it is so sad, you know. And all it does is, you might not think so, but it does affect all of us, you know, when we're not adequately covered. So
burden on society.
Burden society, yeah, and, you know, burden on families, etc. So come and have a chat.
Healthcare system, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Things, yeah.
Right. So, you know, the big thing is come and see someone like myself, and just find out about it. If you might have a claim in, you know, at the moment that you can't, you know, it's not being paid. Like I've had people who've been trying to claim from their superannuation, total permanent disability, and they've had real problems. They've come to me and I've been able to help them and get that sorted, you know, and within 2 weeks they've had their money. So come and talk to us. It's all about, to me, you know, being a risk advisor, it's all about caring and sharing. And that's what I do, you know. I hope that I can help you all in some way. And I really look forward to doing that, you know, whichever way it is. Awesome. And of course, Jackie here. I'm sure that Jackie's just absolutely amazing. You know, I said I've worked with Jackie since I started, really. And if anyone knows about all these things, it's Jackie here.
And knows that I care. And
yeah,
knows
it is
that
absolutely right.
You know that, you know, from my experience back in 2000, becoming a mortgage broker, getting people into copious amounts of debt. 2009, I became a financial advisor because I knew that people just needed help organising all their other shiz.
Yeah,
I guess.
So true.
And not understanding it. And I think, as you've probably seen with my videos, I just keep it real. I speak in normal people talk. I speak normally. And I explain things in really simple terms. And I guess that's what the difference between what we do,
and
what I do,
exactly
what
right.
Steve and I do here at Ascend Financial Freedom. And
so, you know, when Jackie sends clients to me, I can tell that she genuinely cares. You know, her success rate is just phenomenal, and that just comes from because she cares, she understands, she explains it all to you really well, and then when you come to me, then of course I can explain all the exact detail of fine tune it. Yeah, absolutely. So,
thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. I just wanted to touch quickly as well, because I think it's an important thing to make people aware of as well. Just touching on, just thinking of some case studies to talk about some case studies. And I know this video has gone on a little bit longer than I was expecting, but look, it's all vital information. But one of the things with claims, I have one client at the moment, very, very, very dear person to me, who's got insurance through his super. It's actually a government super. One of these industry supers.
Yeah.
And he's got income protection, and they've realised that he ain't going to go back to work ever again. Now, generally speaking, when you have your own retail super, retail insurances as well, rather than if you are totally and permanently disabled, usually you will get your lump sum payment to pay off all your mortgages, your debts, living expenses for the future and all that sort of stuff, rehab, da-da-da-da-da. Plus, you will continue to get your income protection payments. Now, that's up to roughly 75% of your monthly income up until generally the age of 65. In his particular case, because he's got one of these, they've decided that they're not going to pay him any more of his income protection. They'll just pay out his total permanent disability. Now, with these super-based insurances, a lot of the time, the cover that you have reduces over time. So not only are they stopping his income protection payments, but they've also reduced the amount of TPD that he's got cover for. And it's a really unfortunate situation because there's bugger all. You know, if they were going to pay him out for, either 2 years or luckily with this company they actually pay 3 years for the income protection, which is a lot of super-based insurances will only pay you 2 years for the income protection, which
it's
not really
salary
enough.
continuance. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out that with his 3 years, they would have paid him more than they would have for the TPD. So at the moment now, we're trying to get them to reconsider, but being a big company, they ain't going to reconsider.
They won't.
So.
They won't. The rules are the rules. So the big thing we've got to remember with superannuation, industry funds is that
Group insurance.
group insurance.
Yeah.
All superannuation funds are run by trustees. They have trustees. Those trustees can make or break the rules, change the rules. By breaking, I mean change the rules anytime they want, right?
Be careful.
That's right.
They're not breaking the rules.
They're not breaking.
Can't say they're breaking the rules.
They're changing them, but
Yeah.
they don't have to tell you as a member. So, a few years ago, Australian Super, I remember, changed any occupation definition to, we can train you to do another job. What does that tell you? It'd be mighty hard to claim for total permanent disability.
Yeah.
So they're the things that how does the public, how are you meant to know these things, And you're not meant to know. You can't. It's like I can't do your job, whatever that might be. Come and talk to someone. It costs nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's a minefield.
It is a minefield.
Insurance is a minefield. I put
Yeah.
a post on one of the Facebook groups last night, and one of the ladies mentioned that insurance is just a nightmare. It is so hard to navigate if you're doing it yourself. If you've got a professional on side to help you.
Why would you do it yourself when it doesn't cost you anything? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Because people are scared that they're going to get ripped off.
But
and I think that's you're ripping yourself off if
well,
you don't get
exactly right.
personal
The
advice for
thing
it.
is, the explanation I do. I mean, the first, your first appointment with me would be me explaining to you how the whole thing works. I don't even look at talking about your situation till I've explained to you, and then we look at your own personal situation. And there's a lot of work that I do before I place your insurance in place. And I just cannot see as a layperson how you'd be able to do that, and why would you want to do it? Why? So use people like myself. It's just you will have the best experience ever. I hope so. Anyway, come and see me.
Come and see me.
I'll help you.
So what we'll do
Happy.
is after this video, we will put some details below for people to contact you.
Sure.
Yeah,
That would be
or you
lovely.
can contact us and we
Yes,
can put you in touch
absolutely.
with Anne.
Yeah.
So I guess your offer to Ascend Financial Freedom clients and Facebook watchers.
Yeah, sure.
Is so we have the office here in Wangara, but Anne does travel.
I do
has
travel.
car will travel.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, have car will travel. So I will come to you wherever you are, and it could be anywhere. I will come to you, unless you're in Kununurra, and then I will talk to you over the phone, maybe on Skype or on WhatsApp. But you will still get that personal service. And the other thing is that, or you can come to my office, and I will guarantee you that your experience will be good. You'll walk away thinking, oh my goodness, well, that's what people tell me. Didn't know that, didn't know that, didn't know that,
I love those aha moments. I love those aha moments, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So here to help, that's my whole passion, is to educate people on personal risk. That is my passion. If I could go to every school, to every university, to every workplace and explain to people about personal risk, that is what I want to do, and if you do not even go ahead, that is your prerogative. But I just want to educate. At least you're better
informed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Informed to make the choices with the information behind you, rather than just listening to old Joe blogs down the road who's...
Yeah, exactly right. Everything you do, anything you do, I always say, use people with passion and who are really passionate about what they do,
And does. So like I mentioned before, obviously I've been a financial advisor. When I sold my practice, I'd sell our practice, my partner Steve and I. I know a lot of advisors, I know a lot of risk people, but the ability to reconnect with Anne and her experience and her expertise, and there's some stories in there that we can't put on video here about helping with claims of getting things through. She has a passion, and she's like a terrier, an absolute terrier when it comes to fighting for you for getting claims paid. And obviously the knowledge and the understanding, the experience, and how to structure things most appropriately for you, and not just chuck you in with any band-aid insurance just to get you something. And also being very, very, very keen and passionate on the education side of things, like I am as well, explaining things in really simple terms.
Exactly. And it's tailor-made for you, for your situation, for your personal situation and your financial situation, So, I work with you, closely with you, till you're happy with what you're going to get. So, that's the best I can explain. So, come and see us anytime.
Do you think she's a little bit curious? Curious? All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, by all means, drop us a line. Send us a message. Any thoughts? Any ideas? Any thumbs up? Any comments? Anything you'd like to learn about more, pop them in the comments section below. We are doing these series of videos just to help educate and help you understand all the grown-up money stuff. Yeah. So I've been Jackie.
And I'll be there. Thank you for listening.
And we know that adulting is a tough gig.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers. Thank